Time for sound design. In today's video, I'm gonna show you a creative use of an a cappella of a track, how you can incorporate this into your modern production and without having to worry about copyright issues. So the a cappella that I've used is the one from this record, DNA featuring Suzanne Vega, Tom's Diner. It's a classic track from 1987, the original one. And on this 7-inch record, on the B-side, there is the a cappella, so just the vocals. So you already heard the snippet of the track, so you might recognize what I did to the vocals, but let's go to Ableton and I'll show you how I processed them. So this is the Ableton session of the track. It consists of some samples, a lot of synthesizers and drum samples. And here on track 2 is the original sample, which I'm not going to play because of copyright reasons. And then on 3, 4, 5 and 6 are the vocal elements. So I'll mute the rest of the tracks first. So the basic concept is that I only took out the moments in between the singing. So I took the moments where she takes a breath, sort of sometimes the end of a word, just a really last bit, or just before the start of the word, or just maybe the first like sort of attack of a word. And then what you end up with is stuff like this. So this is, for instance, I think, let's zoom out. Yeah, it's kind of the end of the word or just after a last word. And then I repeated this. And the only thing I did is a low cut at 200 Hertz. Then I went further and I cut more parts. So on track 4, I have this. So here it's just the start of the word. As you can see, if I make it longer, and you get that little bit of vinyl crackle as well. So that's kind of nice. So here it's it. So that's maybe a whole word. Just the breath. Yeah, and that's basically it. And on this track, I added an EQ with 200 low cuts and a delay. And then, so together with track 3, which was the dry sound, it sounds like this. So in this way, you can still get like sort of a full sound, but it's just sort of vocal noises rather than actual words or singing. So it's very difficult to recognize what it is. And if I just mute all the other tracks, just as a reference. So in the context at the beginning of the track. And then later when the beat comes in. So that's pretty nice, but that's not everything I did. So later on in the more sort of the chorus part of the song, when there's more drums and more synthesizers coming in, I took some different chops. So let's zoom into that. So here on track 5, I took a little bit of a longer note. What I did, if I zoom out, is I took the tail of a word and then I chopped it up in shorter bits as well. And again, only in EQ. And then here on track 6, I took a very short loop and repeated it several times. So it sounds like this. If you zoom out on the sample, you see that it's one word and it is just the tail and that is looped. So it's very minimal. Together with track 5, it sounds like this. And here again, there's only there's an EQ and tremolo as well. And then in the context, it sounds like this. So that's basically how I chopped up the a cappella that I found on this vinyl record, this 7-inch vinyl record. Tom's Diner. I think it's a nice way how you can use an a cappella without having to worry about copyright, and also not just the copyright, but also use it in an abstract way where it's not really about the words and the melody, but you can still get some kind of vocal quality in your track. And of course you can do this with any kind of sounds, vocal sounds. So it doesn't have to be a record. It can be spoken words. It can be from an interview or like a TV show. There are all kinds of creative ways you can combine different voices. So you can have different kind of types of voices and you mix them. I think there's a lot of possibilities here for creative use. So I will now play the entire track at the end of this video, so you can get more of a feel of how I used it in the different parts of the track. Let me know how you use a cappellas or vocals in your tracks in like an abstract way or an experimental way. If you have different techniques, please share them in the comments. And as always, see you in the next one.